You guys, I'm here today doing a video, and as I mentioned in my last video on overcoming fear, that there would probably be a part two. So here we are today, and we're doing part two to overcoming fear. A lot of these topics that I discuss really should have a part two, a part three, and so forth, because a lot of these topics really can't be completely covered in a 20 or 30-minute video, especially the way I get sidetracked. And I apologize for that, you guys, but when I begin talking to you about any topic, I have so many ideas just popping in my mind, and I want to try to share as many as I can when I'm doing my video. It doesn't always happen that way, but that is my plan for the most part. But I guess I need to get started. And I'll just, as I talk, like always, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll try to explain to you briefly the reason behind it. And right now we're going to cleanse our space, and I normally use an incense, which is my absolute favorite way to cleanse a space. It's just so easy. It's just so, you know, it's it's the best way, because it's not an expensive item to purchase. It's very convenient, it's very quick. It's just, to me, it works perfectly. But like I always say, do what feels right for you. If you feel the need to burn a sage bundle, by all means do that. And if you feel the need to just throw a little salt, do that. Whatever feels right to you, that is what is right for you. So I'm going to cleanse our space, and I'm going to do it a little different than I normally do, but this is another way that I do cleanse whenever I'm going to do spell work or meditation or anything. And I simply have a little small bottle that I prepared of gem elixir. And when I make mine, I normally charge it under the moon. It doesn't have to be a full moon. It can be any phase of the moon. You can just simply choose the phase because it resonates with you based on what you're trying to accomplish. It can just be visually stimulating to you that that particular phase is just beautiful to you, or it can hold some other symbolic meaning, emotional meaning, spiritual meaning, or it can be for no reason whatsoever. You just feel the need to charge your water by that particular phase of the moon, or that particular night, or whatever it may be. But this is some gem elixir that I made, and it's actually a mix of small stones. I've got some red jasper in there, I've got some amethyst in there, I've got clear quartz, and the last one I have in there is some obsidian. And I'm pretty sure by now, excuse me, you guys know what stone has what properties. And some stones just enhance other stones properties. And like I've said just a few minutes ago, there can be absolutely no reason or rhyme to why you're doing something a certain way, or whatever. So this is our gem elixir that I mixed up, and I used some water that I had boiled. You don't have to boil it. You can just use straight tap water. You can gather water from a stream, whatever. And after I added my stones, I simply left it out overnight under a full moon. And I've had this right here for quite some time. And I usually, if I prepare something, I'm going to use it, in the very near future. But if you're not, you can always add a drop of alcohol to your water to keep it from getting yucky Or, you know, you can add, I've seen people use a drop of vinegar. I've seen them use a drop of lemon juice, you know, whatever you feel the need to do. But like I said, I've had it for some time, but I simply dropped a drop of alcohol, and I ain't talking about rubbing alcohol, you guys, but alcohol will work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply just put a little bit in my hand, and I'm going to rub it together, and I'm just going to simply wave my hands through my space, through our space, and this is going to be our workspace, my aura, your aura, and I'm simply just clearing out our space using the properties of my elixir mix, which is simply moon water and gem elixir. And depending on what I'm trying to use it for, you know, I may mix it up and use it the very next day, or I may let it, like my grandmother used to say, you know, marinate and just let it sit and continue to strengthen. But like I keep saying, it's entirely up to you. And if you feel like there's something you need to pull out, you can do that. You can simply just wave your hands around your space to, I always try to visualize as I do any type of work, especially energy work, because to me it helps me when I try to visualize. And for instance, when I'm doing this to clear space, or if I'm doing energy work and I want to clear someone's aura, I'll just imagine myself in a smoky room, and you're simply just clearing the smoke away so you can see what's ahead of you. You're just clearing your path, you're clearing your space, and once you clear it, it's going to remain clear because, as you know, the goddess is always with us. She's always assisting us and working with us. And now that we have our space clear, I think we can move on to lighting a candle and setting our intention. And I've brought this little, I guess you would call it a little bowl, little container. I put stones in it, but I'm going to add my candle to it because I'm sure I'll have a little overflow because it's a small tea light candle. But I've got a bag here of some herbs that I harvested from the woods near my house, and I got these last spring, and I allowed them to dry, and I just packaged them in a Ziploc bag and stored them away, and as I need them, I use them. Sometimes I store them separately. Sometimes I will store a certain mix together, just depending on what I like, what I'm going to use it for. And this right here is some wild lavender and some wild mint. And the good thing about mint is even when you dry it out and you keep it around for some time, it's still got that nice minty smell. And I've also got some milk thistle in here, and you know, that's just something that grows wild here in the South. And if you're not familiar with milk thistle, it has quite a few properties, but one being protection, one being cleansing of negativity, but it's also good to use when you are in need of breaking bad habits, when you're trying to break a past cycle, you know, usually from trauma or fear or something of that nature. But it's a really good one to use. If you've never worked with it, I suggest you try it. It's not expensive if you go ahead and you know, order it online and buy it, but if you live in a region where it grows, and it grows almost everywhere in the United States, you can go out and pick a little bit, and you can use it fresh. You can let it dry out, but I work with fresh herbs all the time, but just depending on the time of the year. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit out of here, and like I said, mine's just mixed. It's not broken or crushed or anything. It's just I put it in there whole. But this is a small candle, so we don't need a heaping amount, but if you can see, I've just added some to the top of the candle. And the other thing I'm going to anoint it with is a little bit of homemade intention oil. And this is a mixture of oils, but my intention set is an intention of new beginnings, love, and letting go of the past, whether it's emotionally, physically, you know, letting go. And sometimes letting go simply is key in overcoming fear. But I'm just going to take and drop just as much as I can get up there without it overflowing. And now I'm going to set a very basic and simple intention, and that is that may something we discuss in this video, may the energy that I project, that you receive, may it help someone out there, may it resonate with someone out there and assist them in overcoming fear, myself included. And now we're going to just light it. If I can get it to burn. I've got it swamped up here with oil and herbs. And if your herbs catch on fire, that is okay. Just let it burn out. Make sure you've got it in a safe container, and you're going to sit it in a safe spot. But if you would like to add to our intention, or if you would like to set your own personal intention, just go ahead and gaze into the flame and speak it aloud, thank it, write it on a piece of paper. Like I always say, it's entirely up to you how you do it, why you do it. You just follow your heart. And the last, well, I'm not going to say the last, but I've got one other tool that I'm going to use, but the last thing that I have brought that I wanted to include is this little bag, little pouch of stones. And these are simply what some refer to as Super 7 or a melody stone. And what it is, it's a stone that is a mixture of other stones. And they're just, they grow like this from Mother Earth. They come from nature this way. And I would say the base of them is amethyst and smoky quartz. But there's other parts of different stones included. I'm not going to sit and name them all, but these are just some chunky, little small chunky pieces that I've got. And if you can see, I've got a handful. I'm not in a very good angle for you to see, but it's just a handful of my Super 7. And like I said, they possess the quality of each and every one of the stones that make them up. But today, the properties that I'm leaning toward are, you know, they're great for healing, emotional and physical healing. I think with the physical healing, they help with the liver, the stomach, that area of the body. Um, the emotional healing, they help you to release negativity, to release pain, anger, and the type of fear that is associated with past trauma, um, overcoming that fear, you know, something traumatic that you experienced in the past. It could have been a day ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, just something that happened to you in the past, and that particular incident is causing you to live in the shadow of fear. And that's what we're trying to get away from. So I'm just going to place those right there. And as I speak to you about overcoming fear, I'm going to use my highlight wand, and I'm just simply going to loosen some of this fear that is attached to you in your aura. And as I attach it, I'm going to just do away with it. It's going to be no more. But as I do this, I'm going to continue talking to you guys. So here we go. First, I'm just going to simply start by saying fear. Fear is something that everyone experiences. Fear is something that we can create this in our mind. We can, you know, watch a scary movie. We can listen to a story that has, you know, just horrific details in it. We can think thoughts that are just our mind running wild, you know. Our mind will play tricks on us all the time, and our mind will have us thinking that, for instance, a loved one is not being faithful, a co-worker is being spiteful, a child is, you know, hiding something from you, you know, or it can simply be, you know, like a paranoia. You know, your minds can have you thinking that everyone and everything is against you. And, you know, these things may not sound, you know, that scary or that fearful, but when we keep thinking these things and we keep, you know, projecting this fear on ourselves, and after a while we'll begin to see these images in our head. You know, we may see the images in actual reality, and they may stick in our mind, and our minds may, you know, intensify those, you know, images, or we may think of things or hear things, and, you know, all these thoughts just, you know, they keep on and keep on, and it's like you shut the door and they keep knocking, 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 and you may even stop going to the door to answer it. You may no longer crack the door to see who it is or even look through the peephole, but those thoughts are going to keep knocking, and after a while, when they realize you're not going to open up, they're going to find another way to enter. And they may find the teeniest, tiniest little crack under the door to worm their way in, but they will. And sometimes a friend may come to visit, and we feel, you know, safe enough to let that friend in, and that friend may intentionally or unintentionally bring those fearful thoughts in to your mind again when you allow them to come in to visit, and there they go again. So we've got to learn that, you know, fear is always going to be there. We're going to be the culprit. We're going to be the one that, you know, starts it. We may create it in our mind and not even realize that. We may pick it up through unintentional transfer. We may continue to do, you know, things that we do, old habits, and it just keeps, thriving and living and becoming, stronger and stronger. And we feel like we're not going to be able to overcome this fear. But let me tell you, you can. It's not as easy as, I may make you believe, it's nothing's easy, because if things was easy, what would the point of life be? What will we learn? What would we gain? How would we evolve? We wouldn't. We couldn't. We shouldn't, because if we don't learn life lessons through the things that we do, through the things we succeed in, through the things we fail at, if we didn't learn these life lessons, what type of person would we be? I'm not saying that the goddess allows, things to happen to us on purpose, but when these things happen to us, of course the goddess could swoop down and, clean it all up, smooth everything out, and make it pretty and shiny again. And, myself included, I wish she would. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. And she's not going to, because she loves us enough that she wants us to be strong. She wants us to learn. And just like when you have an awakening, in the beginning, it's very confusing. It's very painful physically sometimes, mentally, emotionally. It's, an awakening is not a easy thing to experience. But once you make it through, and let me tell you, when you make it through, because you're going to make it through, you're going to be so tired, so drained, exhausted. You're going to be hurt in so many different ways, but there is a little light at the tunnel. And that light is that you have learned so much through this awakening. You have overcome fear and other things that you never ever thought you would be able to. And due to this, you are a stronger person. You are a braver person. You are the best person that you can be. And, like I said, it's not easy, and it's not going to, once you get through the hard part, then it's not going to become easy. It will become easier to go through things and to learn things and experience things in life. It will become easier, but it's never going to be easy, because, through overcoming fear, through learning these life lessons, through pain we experience, that is how we evolve. And once we evolve, we are learning something, and we're changing, just like a butterfly, a caterpillar, they go into their cocoon, and while they're in there, they're going through metamorphosis, and once they emerge, there's something new, something more beautiful, something better, stronger, and that's the same with us. So I guess at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, overcoming fear, we can do it. We will do it. We are going to do it. But it's not going to be easy, and that's okay, because the harder something is to endure, to come out of, to experience, to bounce back from, because let me tell you, we are going to bounce back from this. Once we do that, we are beginning to evolve. We are changing, and we're changing for the better. And that is another step in evolving. That is another step in, finding our way. That is another step in finding our happiness. So if you stop and you think about it, everything in life that we experience, good, bad, hurtful, things that feel good, all of these things make us who we are. And we may not always understand them, and we may feel like we can't make it through, but just trust in the goddess and, reach out to her. She will take your hand and she will pull you out of this. It may not be as fast as you like, it may not be as easy as you wish, but she will pull you out of this. And just remember, overcoming fear can be done, but it has to be done by you and you alone. Just like self-love. In order to love others, you have to love yourself. And all of these things that we talk about, they all come together to help us evolve. And at the end of the day, just knowing in your heart, in your mind, that you made it through and that you made it through without the help of others, that you made it through by yourself, and you came out of this, you made it through. At the end of the day, those thoughts are the thoughts that you want in your head, not these thoughts that are making us afraid, that are, we are manifesting into fear. Not those thoughts, because those thoughts, that's exactly what we're doing. We're manifesting them, unintentionally manifesting them. And before I go in closing, I just have one more tip. This isn't my idea. This is a friend of mine, and he always tells me, practice mantras, do mantras. They can be very simple, just a few words that are positive, a few words that have significance. And his suggestion to me is to simply chant the mantra, I am loved. Sit in front of the mirror each and every day. Look at yourself. Look at the whole you. Look at the big picture. And then take all of that in, and then sit and look into your eyes. Gaze into your eyes, because that is the soul to the window, as corny as it sounds. And say to yourself over and over, I am loved. I am loved. And just like he told me last night, say that phrase until your mouth is dry and you can barely form the words again. I am loved. And let me tell you, you are loved. If no one else loves you, you should love you. And once you learn to do that, you can find happiness. You can find love. You can overcome fear. In fact, you can do anything at all that you need to do to evolve. And that's what we're here for. We're here to evolve. Once we evolve, then we can move on to the next step. Then we can embrace our calling. Then and then only will we find our true happiness, our true nature. And I'm going to let you guys go, but I hope someone out there resonated with something I said today. And please, please, please hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, much love. And remember, if you believe, you will receive. Bye, you guys.